this lesson, we'll be talking about multiplying monomials. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to multiply monomials and simplify expressions involving powers of monomials. So we have the product of powers. So we are multiplying numbers with powers. So when you have this, you multiply the monomials with the same base, and you add your exponents. For example, down here it says y. So 2 squared times 2 squared times 2 to the third. Sorry, 2 squared is 2 times 2. And 2 to the third is 2 times 2 times 2. So we could write this as 2 to the power of 5. So we could keep the base and add the exponents. So with numbers, an example, 3 to the third times 3 squared would be 3 to the fifth. When we do it with variables, a to the fourth times a squared is a to the sixth. When we have it with coefficients in front, that means we multiply the coefficients like we always have. So 2b times 3b squared, 2 times 3 is 6, b times b squared is b to the third. So power of a power means we have an exponent raised to an exponent. When this happens, we multiply the exponents. Again, why does this work? So if I take 2 squared and the power of 3, that means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And if I write that as an exponent, it would be 2 to the power of 6. So with numbers, again, we have 3 squared to the power of 2 when it's the power of you multiply, so that would be 3 to the fourth, which we would change to 81. With variables, a to the fourth to the power of 2 would be a to the eighth. Now we have a product of a power. That means we've got powers and we're multiplying. We remember to always solve from the inside out. So we raise the coefficient and multiply the exponents. For example, 4a to the third, you have to kind of distribute. So it's 4 to the third and then a to the third. So 4 to the third is 64 and a to the third. So in this case, it would be 3 squared and then b squared to the power of 2 when it's the power of you multiply. So 3 squared is 9 and b squared times 2 is to the fourth. If we've got brackets, we'll work from the inside out. So 3 squared to the power of 3, that's 3 to the sixth. And then 3 to the sixth raised to the power of 2 would be 3 to the 12th, which is 531,441. So is this expression a monomial? A monomial is a number, a letter, or the product of two. Is this one? No, because there's subtraction. A divided by b? No, that's division. AB squared? Yes. Numbers, letters are the product of the two. So we're simplifying r squared times r to the fourth. When you multiply, you add the powers. R to the sixth. 3 to the sixth times 3 squared. In this case, we're using 3 as a base. So 3 to the sixth times 3 to the second, when we multiply, we add the powers. So that would be 3 to the eighth, which is 6,561. 2b squared times 4b squared. We're going to multiply the 2 and the 4 like we always have. So that's 8. And then b squared times b squared is b to the fourth. When you multiply, you add. So we have x to the first times x to the fourth times x to the sixth. That's x to the 11th. S squared t squared times s to the 8th t to the fourth. When you multiply, you add the exponents. So it'd be s to the 10th t to the 6th. In C, we have coefficients, so we have to just multiply those like we always have. So 4 times 9 is 36. And then the ones with the exponents, we add the exponents. 36, a to the 6th, b to the 4th. This one, when it's the power of, you multiply. So y to the 4th to the power of 6 would be y to the 24th. A to the 3rd, b to the 2nd, all raised to the power of 3. You multiply the exponents. A to the 9th, b to the 6th. In C, 3 is a coefficient, not a base. So 3 squared is 9, and then r to the 3rd times 2 is r to the 6th. In this one, we work from the inside out. So this time 2 is a base. So 2 to the 3rd raised to the power of 2 is 2 to the 6th. And then that raised again to the 3rd would be 2 to the 18th, which is 262,144. Express the area of a triangle as a monomial. So to find the area of a triangle, it's 1/2 base times height. So in A, we're going to multiply the height of 2n squared times the base, 5n cubed, divided by 2. So when you multiply those two, you get 10n to the 5th divided by 2. When we divide by 2, we do not divide the exponents, we only divide the coefficient. So this one, 4ab to the 5th times 3a to the 4th b. First we multiply them. 4 times 3 is 12. A to the 5th, b to the 6th, and then divide by 2. So we get, remember, when we're dividing, we only divide the coefficient. So we get 6a to the 5th, b to the 4th. So when you multiply the terms, what do you do? The exponent, when you multiply, you add. When the term is raised to a power, what do you do with the exponents? When it's the power of, you multiply.